Coming up next on BG24 News.
State troopers find millions of dollars worth of drugs during a traffic stop in Wood County. Find out what charges the suspects face.
The Career Center hosted a federal job and internship fair last night. One speaker shares advice for college students.
Places of worship can be vulnerable to violence. Hear how police are keeping religious groups safe.
Plus, a look at your Black Swan weather forecast. This is your campus and community connection.
Wood County's live local news starts right now. This is BG24 News, live at 5:30.
Hello, everyone. I'm Madeline Fenning.
And I'm Dominique Hicks. We're glad you're here tonight. We start with an early morning car crash on a highway in Bowling Green.
Yes, that accident landed a man in the hospital. Arthur Watson was injured when a semi rear-ended his pickup truck. It happened just north of the Wooster Street exit on Interstate 75. Highway State Patrol says both vehicles were traveling southbound. The crash sent the vehicles into the median. Southbound I-75 was closed until around 7 a.m. this morning due to the accident. The accident is still under investigation.
2 men face charges after Ohio State Patrol seized $2 million worth of drugs. State troopers seized 42 pounds of cocaine and 2 pounds of black tar heroin. Troopers stopped the vehicle after a traffic violation. They called a patrol dog after they noticed suspicious behavior. The driver and passenger were arrested and charged with possession and trafficking of cocaine and heroin. If convicted, each man faces up to 41 years in prison.
Police are still looking for the suspects involved in a nearby jewelry store heist. It took place at Waddington Jewelers in downtown Bowling Green. The thieves allegedly got away with $5,000 worth of jewelry within 9 minutes. Reporter Gemma Schultz will have more on Thursday night at 5:30.
2 Fosteria teens linked to an assault are pleading guilty. Dominique Fuller and Miguel Herrera confessed Monday in Wood County Juvenile Court for an assault in Bowling Green. Executive Board Director Tim Brown says Fuller and Arena will face sentencing next month. The assault took place earlier this month. The victims were walking to an apartment on 6th Street when they were attacked. A third Fosteria teenager still faces charges.
In campus news, the Office of Career Services is connecting with the Environmental Protection Agency's Call to Serve initiative. The event brings speakers from different government branches to colleges and universities like BGSU. The speakers discuss federal government internships and jobs for faculty and students. Yesterday's speaker talked on his experience in being a government employee through environmental science. He says students should prepare now for a life after college.
I think first of all, plan early. One of the things that I was certainly guilty of in my academic time was waiting far too long to actually start the job process. So contacting the Career Center, starting to think about jobs earlier, thinking about internships and thinking about your future.
The Career Center has more events coming up, including resume critiques to prepare students for the Job and Internship Expo next month. Check out the link on our Facebook page for more.
Ohio's Environmental Protection Agency is also teaming up with Keep Ohio Beautiful. The EPA is giving a $150,000 grant to the group. The goal is to educate the public on anti-littering laws. The two are also working together for the Great American Cleanup. The cleanup has rid cities of debris, aluminum, and graffiti.
The city of Bowling Green has purchased 20 acres of athletic fields. The land will be used for sports like soccer and lacrosse. It will be located south of the community center. The land was bought for $150,000 with the help of grants and park funds. Recreation Coordinator Kristen Oatley hopes the fields will bring in more than just children.
I think it'll be a great asset to the city of Bowling Green, to not only youth, but potentially adults. Adults, we can still play soccer and other athletic endeavors.
They hope to have the fields ready by game day in fall 2014.
Coming up next, terrorist attack in upscale Kenyan mall. Madeline talks with a BGSU professor who has Kenyan roots. Stay with us. At least 68 people are dead and more than 200 are injured after a terrorist attack in Kenya. The attack happened at a shopping mall in Nairobi. Kenyan forces arrested 10 people involved and 6 people killed, involved in the attack. The terrorists are said to be defeated at this time. Officials say 2 or 3 of the attackers may be American. Analysts say the attack was in response to Kenya sending troops to fight in Somalia. Madeline has more with Dr. Kefa Otiso.
Thank you, Dominique, and thank you, Dr. Ortiza, for coming in here with us today.
Thank you.
We hope that you can provide us with a little bit more insight on what's going on. Dr. Ortiza, in addition to teaching geography here at the university, you have also been working to raise awareness about your home country in Kenya, and you've been, conducting research about relevant social issues, and hoping to make a difference in your home country, by promoting a better quality of life. So you are very passionate and also knowledgeable about sort of the social structure, it seems, in Kenya. So with that in mind, how do you think that the social aspect has played a part in the attacks that have happened recently?
I think the main issue is that you have Kenya being located in a fairly unstable neighborhood in the Horn of Africa. And in particular, the country that we are most worried about is Somalia, that has basically not had a functioning stable government since 1990. But a few years ago, a peace accord was signed in Nairobi that ended up leading to the establishment of a government that actually is now slowly but surely gaining ground in Somalia. But in order to secure its international border, where much of this attack is actually emanating from, Kenya decided to send its troops to Somalia about 2 years ago to be able to help the government of the day be able to gain more territory and actually wrestle control from a number of armed groups in Somalia, including the Al-Shabaab that actually launched the attack in Nairobi. So the attack was basically a revenge because the Kenyan army has been very effective in actually decimating the Al-Shabaab in Somalia, taking over some ports that they used to control, closing off routes that they used to earn revenue from running pretty much anything that can be run for the sake of making money. And so this became essentially a mission to retaliate against the Kenyan army. But it was a cowardly act because if you have a gripe with somebody, you go after them directly rather than going to defenseless and women and children.
Absolutely. So, I mean, is this something that is very rare to occur in Kenya? I mean, this level of violence?
The last time we had anything close to this was a terrorist attack in August of 1998, which actually was the precursor to the September 11th in the US. So, quite frankly, there's quite a bit of connection between what you are seeing. This is actually an international problem. It hasn't happened too much, but you've seen cases here and there, just like we're seeing in the case of the US. And ironically, both of these countries, the US and Kenya, are very heavily involved in the fight against terrorism, and actually it's coming from almost the same sources.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have obviously a lot of roots in Kenya, so you have family there?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what was that like for you, getting news about this attack? I mean, were you first thinking about your family, or where did your mind and your heart go when you found out about this?
It's obviously scary because in this day and age, people move around a lot. You don't really know where a family member can be. And so obviously the first concern is, are they safe? And once I made sure that, they were safe, then obviously your heart goes out to all the others that have actually lost their lives, 68 people, and not to mention the 200 plus that have actually been injured. And even as we speak, the operation having come to an end a few hours ago, there are still a lot of bodies that are actually in the shopping mall. So the casualties are definitely going to go up, and my heart goes out to all of them.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So where do you think that Kenya is going to be going from this point forward, as far as healing and mourning the losses of these innocent victims, and as well as maybe how they're going to change their strategy politically because of this attack?
I don't think that the country has too much of an option in terms of changing much of anything. For example, as we speak, the Kenyan troops are still in Somalia because you really cannot surrender to these groups. You don't have much of a choice. And as I said earlier on, the Kenyan army has been very effective in dealing with the Al-Shabaab. So what I see going forward is a case where they actually have to continue fighting until they finish the course. The country remains secure. The city of Nairobi has 4 million people. And fortunately, we had this one attack in one part of the city. So the city is going to basically pull forward. The country has been heavily united, ironically, by this thing. People from all sorts of walks of life, Muslims, Christians, poor, rich. This kind of attack pretty much touches everybody.
Wow.
And so we do see the country really united and basically ready to move forward. Because quite frankly, there's no option but to go forward.
Absolutely, I completely agree. Well, thank you so much for speaking with us and providing us with a little bit more insight. And our hearts go out to your friends and family out in Kenya who might have been affected by somebody who was lost in the attacks. And we'll stay up to date with you on what's going on forward with Kenya. So thank you very much for speaking with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks, Madeline. Coming up next, learn how a new program is keeping places of worship safe in BG. We'll be right back.
Now, Wood County's live local forecast with BG24 Black Swamp weather.
Hello, I'm Paul Mims, and this is your Black Swamp weather forecast. At current conditions, we have a high of 64 with clear and sunny skies. Winds coming at you at northeast at 8 miles per hour. Tonight's forecast, we have a low of 47, but partly cloudy skies. Winds coming at you from the east-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And tomorrow's forecast, we go up a little bit with a high 72, partly cloudy skies. Winds at east-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And tomorrow night, we have partly cloudy skies again with a low 48 and winds coming at you from the northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here we have our regional temperatures. Here in the Bowling Green area near Perrysburg, we have a 64, as I told you before. Up in the northeast by Sandusky, we have 63, 65 on the west, and the northwest, we have a 64 as well. Our current precipitation, you can see there's no precipitation coming our way at this time, so expect some dry weather for the rest of this week. No rain, which is a good thing. You can enjoy your weekend without any weather. At our national precipitation, you can see there is some precipitation up in the northwest by Washington and the upper California region and around the south area, but you can see there's no precipitation coming our way anytime soon. And our 5-day forecast, we have Wednesday at a high 72, low 48. Thursday, sunny skies with a high of 75, low 49. Friday, sunny skies as well, high 76, low 49. Saturday, sunny skies with a high 78, low 55. And Sunday, partly cloudy skies with a high 74 and a low 50.
Well, thank you very much. Looks like we're going to have a beautiful week ahead of us.
Yes, very constant weather, so no precipitation. That's a good thing.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much. 20 religious organizations are available to students at BGSU. Reporter Claudia Seibert says a new program created by the Wood County Sheriff's Office focuses on keeping each and every one of them safe.
In the last 15 years, there have been almost 700 deadly force incidents at faith-based organizations across the country. These attacks are prompting the Wood County Sheriff's Office to protect the community's most vulnerable places. The Protecting Our Places of Worship program is designed to train church leaders on what to do in case of an emergency. Captain Scott Frank says the program is having good feedback so far.
Our first session is going to be designed for our leaders, our pastors. We're going to be talking about liability, risk management, creating a response plan. The second session is designed more for the hands-on safety team members, whether it's ushers or greeters. We'll be talking about active shooter response. We'll be talking about dealing with disruptive persons. We'll be talking about after-action reviews and use of force, things like that.
Father Jason Colley is hopeful that the community will stay safe.
I'm still kind of new to the community, but I've been very amazed at the hospitality, the warm welcome, the great community that is BG. It seems to be a pretty safe environment.
Still, he says he's going to attend the program.
The people in our communities, they entrust us with resources. So I think as a leader, as a minister leader, as a priest here at St. Thomas specifically, the people have entrusted me ultimately to make sure that their place is safe.
BG is a great town. We have a great relationship with the Bowling Green Police Department. We work well together. We're doing all we can to keep it that way.
The program will be held at Dayspring Assembly of God in Bowling Green. Reporting for BG24 News, I'm Claudia Seibert.
The sessions will take place in November.
The Not in Our Town campaign organization is continuing to bring the campus and community together with one goal: stop hate. Hate became an issue on campus and in the community last year after a local mosque was set on fire. Also, several racially charged tweets were spread throughout the community. The campaign is raising awareness among students by having them sign posters and take pledges to stop hate.
It's about you, it's about me, it's about everyone in this community coming up and standing together and saying, not in our town.
The group plans to work with the police and to get not in our town magnets on their cruisers.
Coming up next on BG24 Sports, Falcon football looks to bounce back after a tough weekend at Indiana.
But first, find out how they did this weekend. We'll be back. Stay with us.
It's un-Falcon believable coverage that you won't get anywhere else. This is BG24 Sports.
Welcome back to BG24 Sports. I'm Jackie Elliott. The Bowling Green State University football team returned home this weekend to play the Murray State Racers. The Falcons were hoping for a win this weekend after receiving their first loss of the season to Indiana 2 weeks ago. Terry Lash has more on the game.
The Bowling Green football team was at home against Murray State on Saturday. Travis Green put the Falcons up early after an 8-yard TD run. Quarterback Matt Johnson added his second TD of the day with a 7-yard run. BG had a very successful day on the ground. The team piled up 282 rushing yards, and Travis Green was the team's leading rusher with 133 yards and 1 touchdown. Also for the Falcons, Andre Givens, Jordan Hopgood, and William Houston combined for 96 yards rushing. Going into halftime, Chris Gallen caught his second touchdown of the half from Matt Johnson. The Falcons win to the half with a commanding 27-0 lead. BG continued their dominance in the second half after Andre Givens scored on a 9-yard run. The defense had a great day holding Murray State to only 312 total yards and caused 1 fumble at the goal line. BG added 2 more scores to end the game. Houston had a 1-yard TD plunge, and James Napke connected with Ronnie Moore on a 17-yard touchdown pass. The Falcons ended the day with 660 total yards. After the game, Johnson discussed having the 5th best single-game passing percentage in BG history.
It's nice to go 19 of 22, but those 3, I kind of went back.
We were able to talk to David Chief Kakua after the game.
What was going through your guys' minds throughout practice this week to get a rebound win?
We talked about being the #1 underdog, and even though it was Murray State, a division lower than us, we went out there thinking that they were better than us, and we went to prove to everyone that we can do it, and we are a top team, and not only in the MAC but in the country.
MAC play starts this week against Akron. What do you guys need to do to get the W?
We just got to keep focused, have our goal in mind, and, just practice how we'll play, and everything will take care of itself.
This Saturday, the Falcons will take on Akron at the Doit.
The women's soccer team played against Evansville Sunday afternoon. The Falcons were looking for their first win of the season against an Evansville team that already has 7 wins under their belt. This was a back-and-forth battle all game. Evansville pressured early with several shots on goal, but Falcon keeper Lauren Cadell was a defensive star in goal, making spectacular diving saves all game. In the 12th minute, Madeline Wyman cuts through several Evansville defenders, takes a shot, and sails the ball over the keeper into the back of the net, giving the Falcons the early lead going into the half. Evansville will answer in the second half, forcing overtime. Unfortunately for the Falcons, they would drop a hard-fought battle in overtime, losing 2-1. The women's soccer team will open up MAC play at OU on Friday and are back home October 4th against the Eastern Michigan Eagles. The BGSU men's rugby team took to the rugby field this past Saturday in hopes of remaining undefeated. The West Virginia Mountaineers attempted to take the lead early in the game, but Bowling Green came out strong and were too much for the West Virginia Mountaineers. In the end, the Falcons remain undefeated with a 44-16 victory over West Virginia. The Falcons will take on the University of Cincinnati next Saturday at 1 p.m. on the rugby field. And we have another weekend packed full of Falcon action to take in. Women's and men's soccer both hit the road on Friday. Women's soccer travels to Athens to take on the Bobcats, and men's soccer heads down to Marshall to try to top off the Thundering Herd. After taking on the BG courts last weekend, tennis travels to Miami for some MAC play. And on the home side for BG, the Falcons are looking to secure another MAC win in football. The Falcons play host to the Akron Zips on Saturday. The game is set for 2:30 at the Doit. And volleyball hosts Northern Illinois Saturday. The game will be at the Show Center at 7 p.m. So be sure to rep that orange and brown this weekend and cheer on those Falcons. Well, that's all I have for you today. I'm Jackie Elliott, and we'll be right back.
This is such a great story. Listen to this. In honor of Family Weekend, the university gave out the Parent of the Year award. At halftime of the BGSU football game Saturday, Teresa Brand was presented with the honor. Junior Lauren Brand nominated her mom. Teresa won because of her ongoing support and personal sacrifice to her family. Teresa had to take care of her sick husband and 3 children. She continued to support Lauren and her family even after her husband died more than a year ago.
Very cool. Well, now let's get our last look at the weather for the week. Paul?
Well, we have pretty constant temperatures for the rest of the week, pretty constant, no fluctuation too much, and it's pretty dry weather for this weekend, so that's a great thing for people going out this weekend and having a good time, so
absolutely.
No rain.
Absolutely no. I mean, just today was absolutely gorgeous, you know.
Yes.
It's just very chilly, but not too chilly, and very warm with the sun at the same time. I mean, it's just great.
Yeah, so it's going to be great weather for football,
great weather,
right?
Great weather.
Well, great. And that's all for BG24 News. For Madeline Fanning, Paul Mims, and Jackie Elliott, I'm Dominique Hicks.
Be sure to join us tomorrow night for our public affairs show with Parminder Banga.
If you have any comments or suggestions, visit our website at bg24news.org. Also, check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/BG24News.
Thanks for watching. Have a great night, everyone.